So, welcome to our time together this morning. We'll take a moment, of course, to set space. And if there are individuals that are wanting, that you feel or are calling to be placed in that healing circle of divine good, we'll put them in by number. You can put them in by name too, if you choose. Situations, any kind of life form. So, but let's get the circle set first. So taking a deep breath, let your focus be on that breath moving in and out of your nostrils. The nostrils, that part of our body designed to add oxygen to the blood. And every time we breathe, that part of our being does its job perfectly. And just like we add anything to our energy, conscious or unconscious, that addition begins to move through our entire system, body systems, mental, emotional, spiritual systems, bringing that information to every aspect of ourself. It's in the present moment that we add breath. And so we sit in this moment, in this bodysuit, in this circle, in the joined grounds of sacred sovereignty. And as we add sacred and sovereignty to that which we breathe, and then exhale, we are a pillar within humanity, breathing sacred and sovereignty and present moment. And we bring into consciousness those teams of light, wisdom, integrity, power, commitment to good that we are connected with, known and unknown. And we breathe and invite their energies to be here as pillars also, and we become multiplied. Because those who are in galactic worlds are multiple groups, we acknowledge the multiplicity of every presence, and we become multiplied, multiplied, and multiplied 1,000 times, 1,000 times, 1,000 times, millions. Pillars of presence, of sacred, of sovereignty, of divine good. And those lights, those from earth plane, those from galactic plane, meet where there was once a division, a separation, to become one. Miracles happen. And we so claim our circle is set with that intention and knowing and authority. And so it is. So welcome everyone. Let's go around and put ourselves in the circle. Like I said, we have been doing this, and I would want to invite the same, putting names or numbers of individuals, either way you want to do it, into that circle for healing of that which is divine good, situations, personal or world's fine. Any living form that's calling for that additional blessing and help today, and where you are on the planet, and if there's something that you want to put in to say I'm letting go of, totally, that's fine too. And what is a quality that or value that you want to anchor in the circle additionally. And we'll just go around tag style. So Sharon Raji Maynard here. I'm bringing a 64 into the circle. 8 world situations, 3 personal situations, and I'm letting go of, like I said, I went to a movement workshop with our friend Carol, and those movements are designed to break up neurological pathways. So it was like COVID on steroids. And I think that's good periodically to do. You don't know what needs to be let go of. So I'm letting go of the letting go and bringing in the choice of inspired actions. Angelique.
Hello, everyone from the Netherlands again. It sounds like broadcasting. And it's wonderful to see you all. Yeah, it's an hour early here, so it's good for me. It's 10 instead of 11 p.m. And yeah, wonderful. So I bring in 2 souls who recently laid off their robes, good loving friends of mine. Last week I lost 2 dear friends. And yeah, I want to put their energies into the circle for a good journey, a last journey on the earth plane. And I bring in 11 people. And the names of these 2 friends of mine is Marike and Yui Xian. And I bring in various situations on earth, many situations on earth, and 3 personal situations. And my quality for today is limitless possibilities. And I go to Sue.
Thank you, Angelique. I'm Sue. I'm in Smoky Point, Washington. We got lots of rain. So I'm bringing in 19 people, 1 global situation, 1 personal situation. I am letting go of all limiting beliefs and the past. And I'm bringing in I'm claiming I am the intelligence I need for every single personal problem. And I'll call on Audrey. Great to see you, Audrey.
Thanks, Sue. It's good to be here. I am Audrey and I'm in Wyoming, Pennsylvania. And today I'd like to bring in 38 people, 4 personal situations, 1 furry situation, the healing for the children of the planet, bringing and letting go of fear of being wholly who I am. And I'm calling in standing in integrity and wisdom. And I call on Deborah.
Thank you, Audrey. I'm Deborah from Sanford, North Carolina. I'd like to bring in 6 people, 3 personal situations, a bunch of world, including the US elections coming up. And letting go of exhaustion. And I'll call on Cinda.
Thank you for letting go of the exhaustion, Deborah. Yeah. I'm Cinda. I am located in Stevenson, Washington currently. I've been working my tail off at our property along the river, the Columbia River Gorge. I would like to bring in 7 people focusing around one event. I would like to bring in 1 person asking for awareness of safety and health. And I'd like to bring in the word and concept of acceptance and flow, or lack of resistance. And I guess I want to let go of the resistance and the need to control everything. And I will pass it on to Evie.
Hi, I'm Evie in Anacortes, and I am bringing in 6 people, including my mom, who recently had a stroke.
Oh.
Want her to be able to communicate whether she wants to stay or whether she wants to go, and that be honored. And 2 personal situations. And I'm letting go of frustration and reactiveness. And I'm bringing in, and I want to bring in all world situations where people are dominated by controlling dictators, and all those people who are suffering from natural disasters, which is also a responsibility from all of us. And I'm bringing in integrity also, and peace. And I think I was the last one.
Tara's here.
Tara, and I hand it to Tara.
And Arlie next.
Hi, thank you. I'm Tara. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I am bringing in 20 people, 11 personal situations, 4 four-leggeds, 5 world situations, and I would like to bring in letting go of negative patterns, lack of confidence, and releasing stress. And the words I'd like to bring in is new connections. And Arlie, you're it.
Hi, I'm Arlie. I'm in New Zealand. I would like to bring in 13 people, 3 personal situations. I think the world situations are pretty well covered. I would like to let go of procrastination. I would like to bring in closer connection to those entities that we work with. And I would like to bring in my old sick cat. And that's me.
So we have our healing basket of divine good full. Added to whom we've brought in, those our team knows would benefit. We ask that they put all of those unspoken in also. The world situations, personal situations, children. And we have called for the activization or addition of the vibration of inspired actions for each of us. Limitless possibilities. The claiming that the I am is within the intelligence I am and knows solutions. Bringing in integrity, wisdom, acceptance, and flow with peace and new connections, both here in the physical plane, but closer, clearer connections to those in the unseen world of spirit who are here to guide and to teach each of us. So this is what we declare and claim and give thanks for. And so it is. Okay. So here we are. And before I share what I'm going to share, I wanted to see if there's anything else that any of you have that you want to share.
Yeah. I would love to share that. Yeah, I first want to thank you for the email you sent, Sharon, which you got from Emma. And it really, yeah, that was really special. And yeah, how can I say that? Right in my face. That's what I really, really felt. Really like, wow, this is unbelievable. And yeah, aggressive, really very aggressive. So what I felt after that is how the importance, the really big importance of circling with women more and more. So last weekend I had 2 circles, and I'm intended to have really many more over the week as well. Whether they be small, whether they be in Zoom, whether they be here in my sacred space, it's not important, but I think circling is one of the most important things ever in this moment in time to rebuild the strength and connection worldwide. What I noticed is last time that we had to circle for the little ones, I also asked my other women's circles to bring in their little ones. So there is now a circle here on my altar of I think 12 or 12 or 13 women, little women, little ones. And I noticed that the more I do well, of course, the journeys we do is every time a different journey because I never do it twice the same. And I noticed how this energy is building, really building, and that it's becoming stronger. And that it is, last Saturday, we had a grandmother circle here, and that's a Dutch circle. And how wonderful it is to notice that all the global energies are really mending. So these are really, weaving together. So that's what I love to share. And I see the importance of that too. Thank you. Thanks.
Anyone else will have something to share? Okay, so here's the question I'm up against right now is because my internet became a bit unstable as we were going around, I closed everything down and forgot to save this particular one for today. So if you don't mind, I'm going to be, and I don't remember the name I gave it. That is what's really weird. It's definitely that same kind of reflection of sometimes when our brain disconnects, the brain disconnects. And what I'm going to ask while I do a little bit of search here is Angelique and I, we were on just a little bit before we both came on early. And she shared something that I thought was really important. And I thought maybe we would talk about it at the closure, but Angelique, maybe what you can do is bring that awareness into our meeting right up first. And that was about seeds and the event that you participated in that brought you to, and the awareness about seeds. Would you share that with the sisters while I'm looking for what I closed down?
Thank you. Yes, I would. Last Friday night, I had an initiation circle in a spiritual center who requested me to open the kota for them. And a kota is the little, little wooden 8-cornered house with a a roof like that. I don't know how to explain it in English, but there's a fire pit in the middle and there's benches around so you can sit there. And they use it in Finland, for instance, when they have had saunas or things like that and rolling in the snow. And then afterwards they warm up in this little place, little house. But it's pretty wide. You can be there with, I think, 18 people. And we were there with 8 people. We were with 8 people. And these were the owners of this spiritual center and the people from the administration, and Robert was there as well. And they asked me to initiate this place, which we did. And I also said, well, it's very important to have this in a co-creative form because it's meant for the center. So I don't want to do it alone. I really needed them. And we created a flower offering together. And I asked them to bring all flowers in the chakra colors. And as I see all the information that I received before, because I see this as a heart. The kota is the heart, and the chakras, the people around, and bring them all those different colors, is the chakras around the heart. And it was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And then afterwards, we brought it to the place outside. There's a standing Buddha, and it's on the corner, just near a spiral. You can walk a spiral over there in the field, and the Buddha is just standing beside. And we offered it to the Buddha, and it was a dark night and full of stars, and we were standing there. And I shared with Sharon, it was really, really magical and really full of, light energy. And then Robert and I, we both saw the Buddha moving, really moving. And you can say, well, you must have something on your eyes, but it was both of us. And Robert is not somebody who is really a very, he has not that much illusion. So he is very practical. And we said it on the same moment, and we were standing there grounded and nobody could move. We were so grounded that we were not allowed to move. And then I heard in my head the Buddha giving thanks and saying, thank you so very much. And what I realized is that we planted these seeds for this place to have circles. And also I put in some seeds, flower seeds and corn and other seeds I put in. I always do that in flower offerings, to give it also the possibility to grow what you are asking for, what you're requesting for. And so we put this offering at the foot of the Buddha. And in the night, I received a vision, and that said that it was really necessary to keep these seeds, to support these seeds to grow. So I had a meeting afterwards with somebody from the center, and I said, yeah, well, I received this, and I offer you to come there and be there every week to drum for 2 hours or something, and just to drum in that place, to keep the light there, and to feed what we have planted. So that's what we did. Thank you. Did I forget anything, Sharon?
No, you did well.
Okay.
I just want to encourage us to understand we are planting new seeds in stirred up soil. And what are we going to do personally? What will we feel to do personally in our commitment, not just in the planting, but in the energizing and in the blessing and in the watering of the seeds? Just an awareness piece. Okay.
Sharon, I forgot something really important.
You
What
got
I always do in these kind of ceremonies, we have a little water ceremony as well. And we bless the waters, and we take a sip, and the rest of the waters we give to the flower offering. So to really make it, connected with the earth and everything. So sorry for that, but thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Deborah.
I just had a quick question. Did the Kota or the Buddha, when you go out and do drumming or something, do they want to hold the golden song and send it out? Something to ask them.
I don't think Angelique's aware of the golden song.
Oh, okay.
Which is okay.
I just, what I do is I open up myself to receive what is necessary to offer in the moment. That's what I come and bring there, because this place is, that needs to be fed. So no, I don't think really the golden song, but just what comes into my spirit, and I offer that.
Which might be part of the golden song, because it doesn't. That's a process I teach in TAG, and it's just basically releasing a lot of the entropy, the waste energy, and quickly turning it back into light.
Yeah.
So you would be doing something, I'm sure, very similar, just with a different name.
Yes. So yeah.
And the thing that I'm constantly aware, and I'm sure you are too, that there are concepts that are foundational truths, and yet, and so this philosophy might give this name to it, this movement might give this name to it, this group might give this name to it, but when you talk about it, they all come down to basic concepts. If there's truth, there's truth, right? Very powerful.
Yeah. Can I ask you something, Sharon?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody is interested, we could place also the photo of the Buddha with the flowers on at the feet, if you like, because it's in your email. So it's in the attachment. So if it couldn't be afterwards, but and then everybody can also feel the energies of the
of that.
Yeah, it's of course it's a global offering. It's not only meant for that place. It's just for the web of light and for everyone.
Great. Good reminder. Good reminder. Because light has no boundaries, breath has no boundaries, thought has no boundaries, intelligence has no boundaries. So I was having a conversation with Deborah, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, and we finished our conversation. She says, "Who's that? Who's the indigenous person there with you?" And because her sensitivities are different than mine, I might sense a word, but she sensed the presence, which then I said, "Oh, who are you?" And so I was given the opportunity for that fourth time in my work time to tune in to those in the indigenous community. And the being that showed up was Chief Joseph. And so we are going to be working with him as we do the session today. So we are coming here to reclaim in more specific ways our authority and voice as women. So if you want to, you can either stay on camera, off camera, whichever you are comfortable with. I'm comfortable either way, because we come together, as he said, because all people, our people, are in great need. And your collective of powerful, loving, committed women, are taking the actions needed to free humanity from the oppressive, dangerous, and violent agendas that enslave all and destroy many. In taking these actions from the position of authority of those souls born into female bodies, we, your soul members in male bodies, are here to answer and join you. And I am speaking as a representative of indigenous, ancient indigenous, far distant indigenous. When a man's presence and power of heart was awake, it was free, and it was in support of the values that women designed from. You are walking the restored sacred path where women speak the values, align life and space from those values, and take delight in the tastes of the fruit that emerge and feed all life with their goodness. But we are awakened, we are honored, and we stand in total support. And we are ready this day to surround the homes, the children, the hearths of every woman on the planet as they gather to discuss the end of the story of war, control, violence, and domination, and the story that those are the solution. We stand to end the stories woven into the minds in order to capture male hearts and destroy female authorities. It has been said that I died from a broken heart, because all that I did for my people was as naught. I stood confronting agendas foreign to what my people had experienced. The deeply anchored story that all humanity, all life on this planet was owned, and owned by foreign souls. Now we sit in stillness and gentle holding in our ancient villages, our little ones, while our beloved women sit in council with one another. And we wait for the actions that will emerge from your visions and your designs. And as I heard that from him, I could only bow in respect and say, thank you, brothers. So travel with me as women gather in great expense around the world at this moment in time. And we call in those gatherings that we have freed in the last 3 weeks not 1,000 goddesses rising, but 1,000 times millions of our maternal lines that had been entrapped. And we called them forth and we took them into areas and said, rise up for your children in present day. We are speaking to all those in female bodies beyond time and space. We are speaking within the place of sacred truth-telling and loving respect. And I'm going to example by letting you in imagination travel from the heart of my pioneer heritage, understanding that this is for you to understand so you can do the same in just a moment. So I travel from the heart of my pioneer heritage, traditions of hard work, of male voices of authority, of female obedience and serving. Many of you may have similar heritage, but others have their own unique heritage that you will connect with. But as I observe the past from my eyes of presence, the present moment, I see the judgments, I see the fear. My family settled on lands considered open and available by the government. We took land considered open spaces, but which were open spaces, kept open, kept abundant, kept stabilized by indigenous families. So where was the conflict? Where was the possible conflict? Well, of course, between owner and owned, between royal and servant, between worthy and non-worthy. So I see and am the observer in the puppeteer energy of domination, stirring up people on both sides, broadcasting the discord, proposing violence, power over. We must crush each other. We have to enslave the other. That's the solution. And I see my pioneer forefathers in righteousness arm themselves with weapons to preserve and protect their families and their land because God is with us. And I see the indigenous fathers arming themselves with all the weapons of war, with all the paint of war, to take charge of what has been theirs as stewards, and both preparing to use violence to crush the other. The story is that by crushing, enslaving, diminishing the other, I will win, I will be safe. And I say, freeze, frame the actions. Throughout the space of my heritage, freeze, frame the actions. The men are frozen both sides in time. And here we are. And we go between times, beyond times, and we women of their future say, stop, no more, enough. And all movement, thoughts, plans are frozen. And as one in our breath, we call forth the mothers, the grandmothers, the wives, the daughters of families on both sides. We call them forth into their magnificence of a star soul, an intelligent being within female body. No matter the name they may have been given, witch, goddess, visionary, healer, wise woman, lover, teacher, whatever the name. In our imagination, we gather them in their circles, both looking at the plans of their men frozen in time. And we gather. And we say to these circles of women, we will show you the vision to see where this model will take your children, grandchildren into the future. And we open that vision to see the escalating blood, death, crippling, discounting, disharmony, which will result. And their voices rise as one. No, not in my home, not in my village, not in my family, and not for our children. So we are there. You are there. These are your ancestors. I am there with mine, and we gather together in the sacred conversations that women were intended to have. What are the values? What are the qualities? What resolution based on those values? What are the outcomes we want for those we love? And we sit in circle with them. We see the power of Gaia anchoring those circles. With the Sophia Collective assuring that the authorities are there, heaven will answer, and our designs will be supported. And our truth telling, you are not of our family, not of our light, will be heard. And grace fills them with the love of divine good to strengthen and open visions beyond what they even thought was possible. So be with them, knowing that you hold the thread between the distant past when things were as they had been intended, where peace, harmony, valuing, and respect existed. You hold this future where that's all gone, looking to be extinct. And you hold that thread beyond time we call past. And then notice what historical conflict is calling you into this model. Who are your ancestors being encouraged for war? Who is their supposed enemy being called to war? And freeze frame them. And then be with the women as they design the outcome, the resolution, based on the values they want for themselves, their families, their children, and future generations. The men are tending the fires. Men are at home with the children. They are waiting for your voice. Be in that conversation for the next few minutes. Notice that what we have asked for in this day and time for this circle is what is needed in that circle then. Inspired actions, limitless possibilities, integrity and wisdom, acceptance and respect across the aisle, commitment to peace, to new connections within community, and a deeper connection, closer connection to our spiritual guides. So we bring that into you where you are in that conflict, making a difference. We have about 2 more minutes. Now, as you're ready, turn to the circles. Is there anything they need from you, either to anchor with them then or to bring forward for us in this circle? Is there anything they need or are sending with you? Make sure everything's completed. And then when you're ready and that's complete, your guides will know how to get you back to this circle in total safety. And when you're here, then you can turn your camera on and be present. And what we're going to do as soon as Evie will be back shortly, when she's back, and I'm sure Alex is here. She's got camera off because that works best for her. We're going to take 5 minutes. This is such important work. I don't know where else it's being done. I hope it's being done in many places, but it's such important work. And I have found, and this is my observation, so it's my observation. It just has seemed to me that when you have the opportunity to be in small rooms together, to speak one-on-one, that there is a lifting and a gifting to you that doesn't happen if we don't do that. And we have time. So I'm going to put you into rooms. There'll be 2 per room. I think one will have 3. And just share, you'll each have like 2 minutes. And I think that will be enough. What was your experience? What did you bring back? Anything that you want to say. There's such richness that happens when you have face to face with another person. So we're going to go into rooms. I'm going to do 6 minutes because in our 3rd room that gives them 2 minutes each too. And of course you'll get a directive of when it's and then you'll be brought back. So here you go. And we'll be back with you in about 6 minutes. Blessings. Okay. There we are. So let's go around and just put as what's your seed, what's your takeaway, what is that kernel that you're going to hold? And we'll start. I'm going to put you in order. So Evie, and then Audrey, and then Tara.
My experience, my experience was just a profound peace, a profound sense of being affected, and in a kind of way that I don't usually, I was telling Audrey that I don't usually experience in my own meditations. And I think it was the collective support just helped me that. But that's all.
And for me, they gifted me an luminous cloak of safety, love, and peace to be the light in total safety. So in order to be able to share that cloak with others too.
Tara, and then Arlie, and then Sue.
So, I never really see something specific, and sometimes I feel like I'm making it up. But the word inadequacy came in, so I just kind of went through like way back when and telling all the women how to protect against that because I feel like inadequacy, if every person felt adequate, then maybe they wouldn't feel the need to be power over and fight and have wars. So I feel like that's maybe one of the missing pieces of the puzzle in the human uh, energy field that adds to this problem that we're having. So I just kind of did that and I condensed the Akashic records because I think that that emotion, if you want to call it that, or problem, resides in everybody that ever existed on the planet at some point and probably still does. Thank you.
Well, I did not really do well with this one. I went back and it was about communication and understanding at first. The pioneer women were left out of the meeting though. And then when communication was attempted, I just went straight off into catastrophizing. Well, that's really nice, but why should they have to give up any land at all? It's all theirs. And what about the germs they brought? And what about this? And I was like, oh my God. So I think the seed is in communication and attempts at understanding as a framework. And that's really the only useful thing that I brought back.
Mhm. Yeah. You kept hearing the words of the outsiders creating a motivation through the men, and especially in the pioneer line. And so maybe part of that also is like recognizing that voice and saying, not in my world, that's not of the light. And going back further to prevent that from even happening because the women are in charge and the women would have never done that. You see?
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So if I understand mine correctly, I was shown it's divine feminine and divine masculine, not what's in the bodysuit that comes together, positive and negative in the four kingdoms, the four directions, the four elements. They all bring balance, and spirit knows exactly how to do that. And my job is just to hold space. And it was so peaceful. It was just so absolutely peaceful to allow the divine states of being take over. And God, it was just beautiful. And I'm complete.
So Cinda, Deborah, Angelique, and Alex.
So I got really quiet and just went into a zone, and it was so lovely because I needed just to quiet everything down. But it was, but now all sorts of stuff is coming through, and I don't think it's for me that there is any mistake that Chief Joseph, a Native American, came through today to speak through Sharon, while at least I am here on Native American soil, and how America is in the middle of a shitstorm as well. I mean, the whole world is, but how appropriate it is that a chieftain came through with this glorious, beautiful advice to anchor us onto the land, at least in America, but I sure hope that it's everywhere and doesn't need to just be in America, so in New Zealand and the Netherlands, but I mean, to anchor us to where we are, to recognize how powerful we can be. You know, that it began with the Native Americans, and now the Native Americans spiritually are rising within us, and we need to show up for the safety of the land, safety of the people. And when Angelique speaks, the seed that I really came away with was what she shared. I'll let her say, but I'm helping guide a retreat this coming weekend, and everything she said was right in alignment with what I needed to hear. So I'll pass the baton to her when it's her turn to speak. So I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, well, I was in this just huge group out in the middle of the plains, you know, tons and tons of people. And I do have to say that my great grandmother, after her husband died, took the kids in a Conestoga wagon from Iowa and went and homesteaded in Oklahoma. So it wasn't the men taking her, she took her family and went and did that. So I was working with that and part of that. But in the group, it was sort of like, okay, so if we're going to build it new, what do we do? Because who owns land, or where do we do things? And they were just reminding us, it's from the men, it's like, we send the energy to you and you create in all new ways. So don't even think about what it is. It's more like, what do you want it to look like? What do you want it to be? And how do you bring this? And it wasn't any, he said, she said, it was just like looking forward to how do you want to be in balance with the thing? And you can create with, you know, it doesn't have to be normal building materials. It's just like it's energy and do the creation. And then when we were leaving, he said, what do you want to bring back? And they gave me turquoise. And I'm not sure if it was just a hunk of turquoise or jewelry, but they said, look up the meaning. And I looked it up, and it's protection, truth, and courage. So that was mine.
Angelique, you're on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hearing Chief Joseph talking, I just glide into a women's circle. I mean, this is what I also share with the clan mother teachings. It's such a Native American, teachings and wisdom, and it's so familiar for me that I just come into this women's circle again, and that's where sisters become sisters again. That's really the message, and real sisters. The design for these women is unity. And they unite in harmony, strong, and each offers their own specific gift of life. And together the outcome sounds like harmony, and they know the way instinctively. There is no fear, there is no competition, there is no jealousy. It just is very smooth. And what is needed is the is the knowing that there are always new ways to look at possible situations, not only one, but many solutions to one specific situation. And I see that there is a new way of willingness to listen to everyone's point of view and to know cooperative possibilities. Things will unfold and flourish, and there's no judgment, and there's no fear to speak up, and there are no boundaries. Aho. Yep.
Alexandra? There you are. Welcome, Alex. I understand why you got a little bit late, but we're glad you're here with us. So anything you would want to share? So this idea that whatever we're seeing as conflict in the world today, anywhere in the world today. But today it's more like use my heritage, but it's all more about your heritage. What in your heritage? Yes, Alex, are you there? We heard you just a little bit. What is it you'd like to say? Yeah, we're here. Thank you. So the concept is gather the women in your heritage from the conflicting lineage line. So this is an idea. It's a seed. It's a place you can work. You know. So what would that mean? I mean, I don't feel complete with what I was able to do today. I feel like it's a taste, but I need to go. Calling me back more and more. Like, okay, where else in there? And maybe it's no longer in my present heritage. Maybe there's something happening in the world that I want. Okay, then I'm going to trace that back to find where we can bring the women together and eliminate the going forward of conflict and domination and ownership. The first time I had an experience with an indigenous chief was in my early 91, 92. And he came, he and his people on the other side had been trying to keep their land, their sacred lands that had been prayed over for generations and generations from being encroached upon. They were trying from that side also, and his people were being decimated. They would have no effect, kind of. And he said, "We need your help. We think you're doing something different. Would you help us?" So I gathered with my team because I'm a newbie on the block, and they said, yes, this is what we would suggest we could do if they want us to help them. To have their wise ones work with our team, which is what we call the Tag Collective, and gather up the sacred energies from the land itself and move the energies to a place on the planet that is hidden and will be preserved. So instead of fighting to try and preserve, just gather up the energies and land them somewhere else so that they can continue doing the sacred work that those energies had been created to do. And his people said, we're on it. We'll do that. So we gave that. So there was time that they did the work. I didn't have to do the work. They did the work with the tag group. And when they were complete, the most touching experience I've ever had, being in the presence of a male leader, is to watch that being stand like at the gate of his people moving into the other side in respect, in total love and honor. Some were on like bandage. They showed the wounds of the battle of spirit. And he stood until all of his people had passed through, and then he turned and thanked me. And it was that kind of experience that I felt with it wasn't Chief Joseph, it was a Navajo chief. But here's the piece I want you to be aware of. I had several others come to me, some Anasagis come to me with similar requests. And I was walking in southern Utah on land that was being excavated by archaeologists because it was an Anasazi land. And I was there alone. It was self-guided tour, walking in reverence. And there in the visitor center was a picture of the very chief I had worked with, not the first one, but another chief I had worked with. And he walked with me on the land. And there were little pottery shards and pieces, and nobody was digging at the time. And he said, we want you to take something away from our site as our gift to you. And I said, I can't do that. You know, there's signs everywhere. And he said, this is our land. These are our artifacts. You take something with you. And I did. And what I'm hearing for you is to look for the gifting that will come to you for not just the work you do today or did today, but what you do and who you are. It could be a symbol in imagination, but I don't know that it will just be an imagination. So watch for that prompt that says, this is for you. This is our blessing to you. You are doing powerful work. Powerful work. Let's just keep going. So with that, I love you. I really honor and respect who you are, how you show up, and what is occurring to change the ripples in time because of your presence. So if there's anything anyone wants to say, we'll do this and then we're going to bless you and close the circle. So there was something that I learned at my workshop I want to share with you. Very simple. We had a representative both of the Gurdjieff work and of the Sufi work. This is a Sufi tradition where you cross an area of your heart and in blessing respect to the person, to the philosophy, to the movement, whatever, you bow to the right, to the left over your heart and blessings. My gift to you. Love you all. Until we meet again, which probably will be soon, I hope. Bye.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you.